It's race day here at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, a track that's certainly seen its fair share of electrifying races over the past years. And there are no doubts that today's race will be just as brilliant. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Anthony Davidson is with me once again to take you through today's action, and we have plenty of twists and turns to come over the next hour or so, I'm sure. Can we begin by having a chat about Sergio Perez?
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? So we're in for an exciting start then, I'm sure, and then they'll all start to settle down a bit and try and find a rhythm as they plan the next phase of the Grand Prix. It's important to know when to push and when to hold back so as not to overcook those tyres early on.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sergio Perez will lead us away from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Gasly, Ocon, Ricciardo, Sainz and Sebastian Vettel, Norris, Leclerc, Yuki Tsunoda and Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Latifi, Kimi Raikkonen and George Russell, Giovinazzi and Nikita Mazepin. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today. They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Let's have a look then at the drivers' standings. Max Verstappen should be pleased with... You can feel the tension in the air as we move into race day here at Monaco. It's a track that requires the full concentration of the drivers with zero margin for error. It tests their skills to the absolute limits, so no wonder it remains a fan favourite. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote. And don't expect to see much overtaking here today. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are three main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. It's Sergio Perez on pole position today, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Lance Stroll and Vettel, Ocon, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Norris, Tsunoda, Daniel Ricciardo and Sainz, Latifi, Mazepin, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. Russell and Kimi Raikkonen finishes off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway. the one that everyone wants to win, and they've only gone and done it. What a fantastic result here at Monaco. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Sergio Perez is now our points leader in the... It's that time again. Time for some exciting Formula One action. Who will emerge victorious in the Battle of Baku? Well, we're just about ready to get underway, so welcome to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. And joining me once again in the commentary box today is, of course, the former World Endurance Champion, Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Lewis Hamilton.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? A couple of favourites for the win then, but who comes out on top doesn't really matter as long as they give us an entertaining show en route to the checkered flag. And we want to see fair fighting, of course, out there on the track. Let's hope the stewards don't have to get involved too much today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Perez, Fernando Alonso and Gasly, Sainz, Ricciardo, Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel, Tsunoda, Norris, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race. Here we are then, it's victory in Azerbaijan. Great work from the whole team here at the track and back at the factory as well. And some pretty... So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. A result that will make Sergio Perez happy as he pushes his championship lead out even further. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
It's got to be Lando Norris, hasn't it? Smooth, confident and assured. I've got no doubt that he and his team are going to be over the moon with his performance today.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of form. All it takes is one look around the crowd to know it's finally race day. The atmosphere at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is incredible. Personally, I think we're in for a brilliant race. It's one of the fastest races of the season here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 60% of this 2.7-mile circuit taken at full throttle. There are 14 corners to navigate, the very last of which has its very own infamous history. Could be the cause of a safety car today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box. And it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn one. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Let's run you through the driver grid order.